Okay, that's pretty scary. I love that scene. And the movie The Twilight Zone, Cindy Dole here, we're trying to not get you too scared, but it is the day before Halloween. And so we're taking a special occasion for home wizards to look at homes that might be haunted or just unexplained things that are going on in your life at home. So thanks for hanging in. This Saturday afternoon with me, Michael Curry. We have all kinds of great guests who are with me. We also have Barry Conrad, who is a guy that takes a lot of videos, and he's been on, the Discovery Channel, History Channel, Bio Channel. Get the mic up a little louder there. And Victoria Gross, clairvoyant, who's helped in the investigations, written a lot of books.
One book, Ghosts of Orange County, and then I was also story producer on My Ghost Story, the biography
and we
channel.
also have the Reverend Clarissa Vazquez, who's with the Colorado Coalition of Paranormal Investigators. So thanks, all you guys. Reverend Clarissa, do you have a busy night ahead for you?
Actually, we're taking the weekend off. We've got a couple of people that are going to hit a favorite cemetery tonight, but for the most part, we're enjoying a little bit of downtime. 2010's been a really busy year.
So just getting some candy and putting your feet up. Well, let's go to the phones and see how you guys can help some of these folks who've been anxiously waiting to get your words of wisdom. Let's go to Nancy in Orange County. Nancy, what's going on? You had it sounds like you tried to do a recording of a ghost voice, perhaps.
We did. I haven't thought of this in years. It was 1970, and we were just out of college, and my ex-husband was extremely interested in the subject. There had been some research that just began in a university somewhere in the United States using tape recorder, reel-to-reel, and he thought I was so intuitive that I should be the one to ask questions on the tape. I actually saw him purchase the tape, brand new tape, took it out of the box, and one night, he had a list of questions. I don't remember them anymore, but I spent about an hour asking questions into this tape, and I was slowly getting quite bored with the whole experiment, and then we would stop and rewind, and then we heard a voice at some point, and it was in German, and I'm pretty familiar with the languages, and what's really weird, and I knew this then, that I grew up in this neighborhood. It was in the Detroit metropolitan area, and it was almost 100% German.
Do you still have the tape? I'm sure Barry Conrad wants to know.
No, we didn't. And the question I have is, it frightened me so much.
Nancy, can I ask you a question? You're saying that when you played the tape, it's a real tape recorder. When you played it backwards, it responded to you in German?
No, we rewound it.
Oh, okay.
And it was a phrase in German. It was about 3 or 4 words.
And what were the words? What was the translation in English?
I don't speak German.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you knew the languages. Okay.
No, I'm familiar with accents.
I see. Okay.
Clarissa, what would you say to this in terms of how in your hunting and your investigation in Colorado with equipment? I mean, we've moved far past reel to reel. What is it that you're using to get that kind of audio quality? And what if she was hearing some other kind of a dialect or language in reverse?
We do use the old analog system still in certain cases, in certain scenarios. Of course, digital is the least expensive way to go now, but we do still use analog on occasion. And I think that considering she said the area was primarily German at one point in time, and the reading that she got on the old tape was of German in nature, I'm not the least bit surprised. It would be interesting to listen to it and try to get a translation of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not the least bit surprised by what she...
And it could have also been Pennsylvania Dutch, because that was a region that the Pennsylvania Dutch lived in for a couple hundred years, so it could have been that as well.
Speaking of different languages and different countries, Catherine is calling in from Covina. Catherine, you wanted to know if ghosts come in here from different countries. Is that what you're trying to ask?
I wanted to know, I work for a mortuary, and I brought a casket home that came from Japan. And, of course, somebody was in it. We took this person out. They've got a brand new casket, the whole bit. This was over 3 years ago. And ever since then, and it didn't happen right away, but people that are in the house, and even I seen like something moving on the side of from the corner of my peripheral vision. And now we have this funny vibration that happens at the foot end of the bed, like maybe twice a week. And I have a little dog who's in the room next to our bedroom. And she'll just go off barking at like 1 or 2 in the morning. And you'll hear this little like beep, 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 like if somebody opened the door or something.
Victoria?
We have these little alarms on all the doors and windows, but never see it. You come out of the room, there's nothing there.
What a fascinating story.
Barking like crazy.
Let's listen to Victoria Gross. She's a clairvoyant. She has
I just think what a fascinating story that is. Maybe part of the essence of this person that was in the casket is still in your home. There is some theories and different teachings that say that the spirit does separate itself so it can haunt different places at the same time. And maybe that's what's going on here. Just an extremely fascinating story. So I think maybe that part of that spirit was connected, because we definitely know that antiques hold vibrations and that our furniture can be haunted. So obviously this casket that had this body in it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's very practical. Makes a lot of sense.
Well, don't you go away, because we have another couple of segments as we have this very special Haunted Home Wizards. Is your home haunted? Are you hearing or seeing something that's unexplained? Well, just so happens it's the day before Halloween, but it could be happening anytime. So your chance to get your questions answered, 888-539-2980, 888-KFWB 980. Cindy Dole here. We're just getting started. We're having fun this day before Halloween. I hope you are too. Cindy Dole here, Home Wizards, and we were just listening to a caller who had described an experience of a casket. She works at a mortuary, and she brought the casket home, and wouldn't you know it, our incredible ghost investigators and paranormal psychics were onto it. Michael Corey, Victoria Gross, Barry Conrad. Yes, this woman had other intentions for the casket. Michael, what do you think?
I think it's kind of creepy.
She was going to bring it home and have it as a bookshelf, and then have it as a Halloween party.
Well, you really have to watch what you bring home.
And hopefully it was cleaned out before she brought it home.
And you don't mean dusted, you mean what?
I mean no blood and guts and
God.
gore and
Yeah.
boogies. And
Victoria, I mean, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, there's. I know a lot of psychics who won't even have antiques in their home because
objects can be haunted.
Objects can be haunted, not just antiques, but just an object itself. Yes, and I've had some in my home, definitely. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
They carry that essence even after death.
Exactly.
Objects, physical objects.
I wrote a book called The Haunted Dollhouse, about a dollhouse that was haunted by the little girl that owned it for over 90 years. And I worked to make contact with, get her to trust me so that she could know that she was dead and she didn't have to stay with her dollhouse anymore. That happens a lot. It's very common.
So do you guys think in your lifetime that we will be able to say without a doubt that the ghost phenomenon can be explained scientifically?
Absolutely.
That on 60 Minutes, we'll see a piece and they won't be mocking it, that it's the real thing.
I think so. I really do. Dale touched on this earlier, that, the technology has gotten so good. And every year I'm looking at the new video equipment. And there is a new camera just came out that will shoot, how normal video shoots 30 frames a second. Think of how little you really see in 30 frames as compared to this new technology they've got now that can shoot 10,000 frames a second.
Right.
They could do it with film, but now they have video technologies that can do that. And that's something I think would be very interesting, because that would be a super extreme slow motion, the same kind of technology you see when you see a bullet emerging from the barrel of a gun. You see every little particle of that bullet, every little motion of that bullet. So I think we're just on the tip of a very large iceberg.
So a lot of people who are calling in probably had questions. Either they were shy and were afraid to talk about it. I'm sure they want to get a hold of you. Let's talk about how they can reach you. I'll have them email me to get a hold of you. But your website, Michael, is
iseeghosts.com. The letter I, the letter C, ghosts.com.
And you have an event tonight?
I do. If they come to the Village Bookshop in Glendora, it's 123 North Glendora Avenue. I'll be lecturing on my new book, Haunted Houses of Hollywoodland, and everybody who comes to the lecture will actually get a free mini psychic reading with me.
Love it. Victoria, your website?
tarotla.com, tarotla.com.
And, of course, Barry?
Mine is worldoftheunknown.com, and they can buy my DVDs and my book, An Unknown Encounter.
And you're also delving into the UFO thing. You just came back from Arizona.
Yes, I am.
So we'll watch for that?
Yes, it's incredible. It's called Case Files UFO, and I just interviewed a man who was on board a flying saucer. One of the most incredibly well-documented cases, I might say, because he was abducted in 1975. It became a movie called Fire in the Sky. His name is Travis Walton. He was abducted in front of 6 witnesses in 1975.
And Michael's also leading a cruise, if that's not enough. I mean, ghost haunting is serious business even at sea.
Right, but this is a 2012 theme.
I love it.
It's with Dannion Brinkley and a lot of other scientists and paranormal people will be on this cruise. It's 7 days through the Mexican Riviera, and all the information's on my website.
Okay, well, you guys have been so fabulous. It's been fun. Have a happy Halloween.
Thank you.
I know there's so much more time that we needed to talk about all this, but hopefully those of you listening have been a little more enlightened, and do email me, and I'll put you in touch with all these guys if you couldn't write down their website quickly enough, because they're great people, and they really do have the knowledge, and they want to help, okay? So, hey, have a great Halloween. Remember to go back to the website. You can listen again at cindydole.com as of tomorrow night, and next Saturday, more fun continues as we explore the great ways to improve those spaces you call home. Until then, have a good one. Remember, the key's under the mat. Bye-bye.